Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'd like to talk about how I am planning on winning in 2021. Do you remember how long 2020 felt in the moment? It felt like 4 years. But now when you look back, it doesn't feel like it was that long. Yeah, we have a weird thing as humans where we tend to live in the past and feel depressed or nostalgic, or we live in the future and we feel anxious or excited. Usually every year I like to sit down and do a reflection, which helps me stretch out my life. Usually I do my yearly reviews in a very simple format: start doing, stop doing, continue doing. Those of you who are in software development would be familiar with this. It's a typical sprint retro is done in the same way, but I happened upon a video by Ali Abdel where he mentions how he does his yearly review and planning and then his actioning. So I borrowed the template and I learned quite a bit from it. There's a quote by John Dewey where he says, "We don't learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience." You see, experience is a great teacher, but her chief weapon is reflection. I probably spent the most time in this reflection phase, which is step 1. I'd say 70% of the time. I did a few exercises, one of which was looking back and writing down moments which stick out of my memory for each month of 2020. An amazing thing from that exercise was that I realized there was so much more to be grateful for than there was to feel bad about, which wouldn't have happened if I hadn't done it. There were also some questions which really stood out for me that I answered, which helped me go deep in my reflection. One of these questions was, when did you feel most proud and what were you doing? For me, it was when I was creating, when I was writing and sharing, even though it felt like the world was burning, and sometimes it literally was. I'll include a link to my article where I have more of these questions, but it's very important that you be honest with yourself. You are writing these reflections only for your eyes, so go deep. Step 2 is the planning. The first exercise you do in the planning is a visualization of an ideal, ordinary week in your life. First 5 years from now, so 2026, and then a year from now. It's very important to get as much detail into this visualization because it then enables you to pick solid things that you want to have in your life and then figure out what habits and what changes can you make today to make sure that you are making progress towards that vision. An easy way to do this is to go into your calendar and jump 5 years from now and just put in some entries. The 3 spheres you want to cover with entries are your life, so your health, your relationships, your happiness, your work, whatever you might be doing between 9 to 5, and maybe what else you might be moonlighting in as a path to some financial freedom. And thirdly, your bucket list. This is very important. Your bucket list tends to contain the things which flavor your life, things you really look forward to. So you want to go through that and pour a few things into your planning from there. Step 3 is the most important step. If you fail to reach this step, just don't do the reflection, because then it's a bit pointless, right? If we reflect and plan and then fail to act, then we end up repeating the same cycles. We're just dreaming. We're not being the person that we dream of. In the action step, you'll take a dream, you'll take a plan, and you'll make it actionable by answering a few questions. For instance, let's talk about one of my plans, which is to post 50 YouTube videos in 2021. So we start off with the dream, publish 50 blog posts or publish 50 YouTube videos, and then we first answer why. Why do you want to do this? On the days where I don't feel like it, or maybe I'm afraid, this is a good thing to go back to and read why is it that I wanted to do this, and this will usually help me power through those moments of being in that valley of despair. And another important part is to turn your dream into a smart goal. Take your dream and you give it a timeline, and you phrase it like so. By the end of 2021, I'll have published 50 videos to my YouTube. Now in my head, I've already done it, and now I also have a time by which I would like to have completed this plan. One thing that we usually miss when we are making plans is failure. We don't want to look at it, but it's important to list what are the 3 things which might prevent me from actually achieving this. In the case of making videos, possible reasons for failing could be the video making process becomes too complex. I miss too many weeks in a row and then I just toss the whole plan. Or my work gets too demanding that I just don't have enough capacity to make these videos. But now that I'm aware of what are the possible reasons to fail, I can be watchful of them and correct course whenever I see these things coming in. One of the things to look at is who can help me achieve this. Do I know someone who's done this before? Do I know someone who's done something adjacent to this? Do I just know someone who might be able to help me, to hold me accountable and help me keep making progress? Reach out to these people and ask them for help. As much as I might not believe it, we all have advantages, whether it be your skill, whether it be just your passion. Look at ways to stack the deck in your favor. In terms of video making, I know that if I keep these videos short and simple, there's a higher likelihood of me completing them. If I also blog consistently, I have more material to draw from for these videos. And the most important part of making your plans actionable is the action. So when you're done, you look at what is a small thing that I can do to make some progress towards this. In terms of the video making, for me it was figuring out a publishing schedule and a shooting schedule. So now I know I publish on Thursdays and I shoot on Sundays and on Mondays and edit in between. It's a small thing, but it makes me feel that I'm already making progress, or I'm already have some momentum behind me. Once you have your plans, it's time to action, right? But it's important to remember things take time. So be kind to yourself. Be very patient with your progress in the long term, but in every day, execute relentlessly. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next one. Be great.